See nothing. That black covered it up. So the pump worked on the tires. Tires are good.
Instantly.
We were instantly thinking it was something so different that we changed it to something else. If I was questioning the answers, I would be where? Hold on, guys. Let me find out where this is. They're not popping up. What do I need to hit?
The people are coming in. What up?
Found it. Hey, crew. All right.
What up?
That's a photo of
Kane?
It is, right?
Yeah, that's Kane.
Old school Kane. I'm talking to the Undertaker.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So now that he's and that being said, I'm going to message him right now and just say, how pumped are you?
Big Mark. What's up, bro? Oh, you're the mic.
I like that picture, my man. Like that picture.
What up, Mary? God bless.
Hey there, guys.
How big is your hog, Mike?
Ask your girl.
Yeah. What do you think of push-pull legs? Is it overrated?
No, it's not. It's great. I know you guys do push-pull legs. Anybody do an old school, a 4-day split?
Ooh.
So Monday is, so I need to bring up my little book.
Chest and back?
No, because it'd be, I'm going to bring out my old diary when I was a kid, and it was a push-pull, but
Yeah,
it wasn't push-pull legs. It was push-pull, day off, push-pull. You get it all in, and that's what I 100% started when I was getting over to Jeff Magruder's place around 13, 14, and I stayed with that until I got to California. And then when I got to California, it's a great point. I never even talked about this. When I got to California, I was still powerlifting, but I incorporated in what was going on huge in Gold's Gym Venice, and that was just the one body part a day. And so I went from an extreme powerlifting gym and around that mentality that I could still develop the body, but it was based around that kind of a workout program to just fundamental working the body. Got stronger, developed better, much more muscularity, but it was a great foundation. So I won't say it's kind of like Titan has been doing jiu-jitsu since he was 2. He's 5 years old now, and he's just starting to get it. But I don't think he would have got it by 5 if he didn't do all those 3 years of work prior to that. And just the fundamentals of doing these little things over and over again. So I think there was such a benefit of me doing the 4 days push-pull and getting my strength to that level to where I never, and there's something I got to check off. I never had to get stronger than I was when I was 19, 20. So think about that. You get to the strength level that I never had to get 200 pounds more, whatever that is, more on my bench, or I want to get, it was like I was strong enough to do everything I need to do in my lifespan. Beyond strong enough. I was already winning the California powerlifting, and I was watching powerlifting and all that. So I was done with extreme numbers, but I had to develop the body better because it didn't develop as much as everybody around me. Now, don't get tied into that you got to grow as fast as everybody else. But, I was still in the competitive stage, so I needed to have that muscularity and everything to it. So it was a good point. And I'll pull out that. I think that we just do a nice little discussion about what I was doing when I was 13, 14, 15 years old.
But that's not when you started, right?
I started lifting when I was 9, but I was at home and I was doing cutouts from the magazine.
What's cut out from the magazine?
So
what's a magazine?
Yeah. So I honestly would take these magazines, Muscle and Fitness, and then it would be Robbie Robinson's arm workout. And then I would cut out each of the pictures and we'd put them on the walls. We had the whole downstairs of the house, me and all my brothers. And so we just taped them to the walls. And so we taped an arm workout, we taped a chest workout, legs, and all that up on the wall. And that's how we trained from 9 till 12, 13. And then 13, I started going over to Magruder's and really learning. But another aspect, gonna have to write this down. I knew how to pose.
Ooh.
I knew how to pose by the time I got to a gym. I knew how to contract and could bounce my chest at 12 and 13 years old. I could flex my back and pull the lats out. I could flex the hamstrings and glutes. I could flex the calves separately, the quads separately. I could suck them in or push them out. I could do a vacuum. I could do the lat spread, posing, all these poses, which seem so elementary to you guys, I think is a key point that I will continue to think I got as far as I did, as young as I did, because I knew how to pose and I knew how to contract those muscles. You can't train back if you can't pose your back. And that's the unfortunate truth. Most of you guys go into the gym and you think posing is weird and all that. I get it. I fully understand that. But you're posing in the gym when you're moving the weights. And if you're just moving the weights with momentum, well, then you'll get stronger in time, but you won't develop. And that was my issue. I was stronger than everybody, but I wasn't as developed as everybody. So
I did the same with the cutouts. Started when I was 14, 59.
cutouts. So you did the same thing then?
This guy right here.
Oh, he did the same thing? I love that. That's what we did back then. We'd watch them and then we'd try to really isolate it. And that's why I did this video a couple weeks back where I was talking about pulling the wrist back and just peaking the bicep. And I remember doing that as a little 12, 11-year-old kid, trying to flex my biceps the best it can and rotating the wrist to make it more of a peak. And then it's funny that 20, 30 years later, I talked to Robbie Robinson and he talks about rotating the wrist back and moving them forward. Or Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about how you move the pinky inside or really concentrate on the pinky will get everything contracted. So those little details like that. I talked about this the other day on an exercise that you posted, I think, Jeff. I said, if you can focus on the least amount of connection, like that lower lat when you do the pull down, if you can get that lower lat to connect when you're doing the exercise, I was doing pull downs. I said, if I can get that to contract, everything else is already fired. And so Arnold put up a video that I loved because he's talking about, what I loved about it is that it's Arnold. And I'll go off the guy that's been in the trenches that did develop something and developed it before the science guys hit the thing, where the science guys will say, well, this doesn't change anything. It changes everything. And it changes everything in life too. So that was one of the cool things Arnold talked about. Go find the video of Arnold and I'll try to find it too and coincide that with my discussion on the lower lats. Arnold talking about the pinky and rotating that. So when he curls, he just doesn't curl up. He tries to rotate that pinky in more and get more of a contraction. It's cool stuff. It's cool stuff when it's somebody like that who had the greatest arms in history.
All right. Ask away, people.
You throw a twit up,
Oh yeah.
twitch up. And that right there
Ooh.
is from Arnold, right there.
Oh yeah. That's his penmanship right there. That's the ink. Did you have something?
Yeah, I see this one here. Boom. I may throw some up.
Hey, brother Mike, I'm at 275 pounds, 511 calories, 4 days training.
Okay, so you're 5'11", 275 pounds, training 4 days a week. Great. And the calories are on point. Good job, my friend. Good job. 275 is a big boy. That's what I'm weighing right now. So that's not saying that I'm a big boy, but it's a good size human. Nice job, my friend. Vince.
Is it okay to use squat shoes with more than 1 inch heel, or will it lead to knee problems?
No, my belief is, and what I do is I'll go on all levels, and I'll use the squat shoes on top of a plate, on top of pushing my knees forward to strengthen it. Just remember that stress is your friend. You want to stress something. The only thing you don't want to do is jump up to weight that you're not used to, and that's what we always try to find. How much can you do a sissy squat with? Is it 1 plate? Is it 4 plates that I saw myself doing last year? Psycho. But what is it that will stress it enough to get it stronger without injuring? So great question on that one. Stress the body, take it up slowly, don't go extreme, and just keep building up. But I love putting it at all different angles for you guys that are squatting with squat shoes. Also agree to go the other way, go barefoot. Great question.
Real sissy squat.
That's at 12 minutes, Jeffrey. Make a note. We're going to take that bad boy one. I like that.
Little squat.
Give that to Serge, and then pass that on over to Joel if he has time, or Louise.
I can't get them.
All right. Let me see. At your height, it should be around 230. Is he talking about the guy at 5'11"?
Don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no height should you be at a certain weight. That's absolutely not true. Don't know why you would say that. Everybody's different.
Yeah. How many creatine per day?
Hold on. Put user in timeout. Okay.
Ooh.
This time he's got a timeout. Next time he gets blocked.
You've been fucking timed out,
Yeah.
buddy.
I put him in a time. I put somebody in a timeout.
You're in the
I'm
corner.
in a good mood. He'll block. He's toxic like that.
Yeah, I'll block. I just right to business.
Mary, how you doing, Mary? We got to, and I will do this week. We got to do a Titan Crew Zoom room.
Ooh.
Room. I'll put that up for email. So they would all send their emails, and then we just send them a link.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mary, keep an eye out for that. Okay. I just want to see how you're doing, what's going on.
Recommendations for over 50 lifters.
Build up your volume. Build your volume up over 12 weeks and then bring it back down. And then build your volume up over 12 weeks and then bring it back down. That's my recommendation. Make sure you're keeping that protein in there. Do your blood work. You're 50. Get your heart scans, your plaque on all that. Take care of that. And make sure you're eating right for you, that you're not falling into a fad that you heard online. Great question, though. Good job, man. Appreciate that.
What age did you realize how important nutrition is?
12,
Damn.
12, 9. Here's the hiccup. So today it'd be. I already did steak and potatoes in my era. So like in the 70s, a dinner is steak and potatoes. It's ground beef or something. It's not like today's world where it's like just you order something in and have a pizza. So trying to relate you guys to what I was used to. So I already ate like how you should. I guess a person would say you eat healthy.
Mhm.
So those people out there, I already ate healthy because we just, egg whites, and eggs in the morning, oatmeal in the morning. I had my peanut butter and jam sandwiches for me, which is great at that age. And then, meals in between there. This was the noodles and tuna fish. And then dinner was steak and potatoes. By 12, though, I really started going, okay, I need a certain amount of calorie intake and I need to start following it and staying with the program. And so it changed. So again, by the time I got to Magruder's, I knew how to pose and I was already counting my calories. So again, I think that's why that puberty for me did so much. I was going into it in such a, I guess in today's world, an extreme level, a pro level at that stage.
Bodybuilding training versus strength training. Where do you find the good balance between not overtraining when going too heavy, but yet growing?
I don't know how to answer that because there's not a thing called too heavy.
Ooh.
And so my power bodybuilding is that compound movement that I need to build certain things, right? Nervous system, strength, connective tissue. And then the secondary work that supports that is the isolation work, the supporting muscles for that body part. And those reps, again, will be higher than the first exercise, but the weight is still as heavy for the rep range I'm going. Which is, again, it sounds foreign to say it today. Like it's, wow, that's an interesting work. We all trained that way in the 80s and 90s. So, and that's another one that I got to golds. And it was like, that was the cool thing about coming into the Mecca. You had all the greatest in the world in one place. And they were all training so similar at the peak of the mountain. So yeah, that was one of the great things. And so that balance is there. And that's why, again, you go back to a lot of, even Francis Benefato, who you wouldn't look at and go, that guy trained a certain way. We were down talking to Frank Zane.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank Zane was not a big man, but he was squatting 405 for 8s to 10s. So again, an in shape, 200-pound guy hitting 405 for 10, and especially doing it bodybuilding style squat, not a powerlifting squat. It's like, that's huge numbers. The only guy that could do that now is like Serge that's back here running the office. It's a great question though. It's a great question, but it just fall back to that old school stuff that worked and really got those guys thick, round, not blocky, and not extended, just enough muscle.
Booyah. What quad exercise is best second to squats for gaining leg strength and size?
Oh,
From Jim Bob.
Jim Bob. Sorry, I shouldn't assume that you're from the South. But usually two first names is South, right? Jim Bob, how you doing, man? Well, my old poppy always said, you're going to find it and you're going to change it up periodically. But the hack squat's obviously a great exercise. We find what is the machine in the back? There's a sissy squat kind of hack squat machine.
The one that we put the bench on.
What do you call those, Serge?
Serge, what is that machine in the third room?
That moderate,
corner?
it's free squats, but it's a hack squat.
I consider it a hack squat.
It's not a hack squat.
But it's not a hack squat.
It's a plate-loaded squat machine.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I would call it.
I wouldn't because if you're talking about strength and you're a power lifter, I'm going to tell you to do some great straight leg deadlifts. Something different. But you're talking about quad development, so I would go a hack squat. Leg press is also great, and do leg press. Here's a great one for you guys. Now, you may get yelled at online, but don't worry about those guys. Do a leg press a lot like how Ronnie Coleman did. It's a partial movement and just load that weight up. Again, stimulate the body in that way. And don't worry about what anybody else says to you. But if you've done a full range on squats, so you've made sure your hips are healthy, your knees can do that stress, and you move some good weight in that full squat position, then have fun on leg press and then do partials on the leg press or partials on hack squats.
The free motion plate
Free-
loaded squat.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Repetitive then. For us, I just like that kind of
It's fucking
the way we
beautiful
put it.
machine.
And also that the way we do it, it also puts a stress on the teardrop and the glute
Smokes
hamstring
it.
tie-in.
Absolutely smokes it.
Hey, feel free to come back after I answer a question, or if you guys ask a question and didn't get the answer you were thinking you were asking, because we misstrued the question.
Old
back.
school on the bent over rows, standing on the bench.
Oh, I love them. I love them, but people today don't like that. They go, hey, using the bench? Yeah, I'm resting and I'm doing an exercise. Yeah, so if you got a cool gym, powerhouse gym we have is we can do all that old school stuff. Also, do you guys find that if you sit down between squats and you're sitting on a bench, somebody's going to come by and take it? You do that, don't you, Serge?
Hell yeah.
Stop that. Let the person sit down between squats. I'm so mean.
Do abs need recovery or can I hit them every day? Same with calves.
Calves are a pretty dense muscle. So you find out what works for your calves. I've had some incredible tricks from Arnold given to me over the years for calf development. Abs, again, if you're doing them for athletic purposes, you can train them more frequently if you're trying to strengthen up your abs and lower back for an athlete. But if you're bodybuilding, again, I would remember you're building a muscle. So I would just be smart about that. And if you don't understand what I mean by building a muscle, if you train your abs so much, there's a good chance you're going to get a blocky waist because you're building the whole abs.
Thanks for the Robbie content.
Absolute. The legend.
We hit up Robbie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him up.
Try to do it. Try to see. Can't get him on a discussion.
Yep.
Get that man going. We can always go powerhouse.
Yeah. If you have any questions about TRT, HRT, health, hormones, peptides, stick around for about the next 30 minutes. We're going to have somebody on that will give you the best advice, answers that you can't get anywhere else. So stick around.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Can you star those in the meantime, or you just do your thing?
I can. Is that what happens there? Yeah, that'll keep that in the roto. What do you think about knee support while doing squats?
Yeah, if you need it, put them on there. I'd always say too, use them and then go away from them and then use them again periodically, like week to week. Play with it that way. And then if you're also nervous about like a belt, same thing. Use it, go away from it, then use it again.
This is another good one for John in a minute. Start this. Stick around. We'll get this. How much creatine should you really take a day?
I take 3 scoopers before the morning work. I felt it today. Holy sheesh! Some days it hits, and some days, but I had 3 scoops of glutamine sandwiched with 3 scoops of creatine, which is 15 grams before my workout. For you, I have no idea, my friend. That's something that you'll find out. Try a scoop, try 2 scoops. Here's the great thing about creatine. If you take too much, you're just going to pee it out.
Yeah, whatever.
You're golden. Don't worry about it.
It's like $10 a jug. Serge, maybe you
We
can
need
answer
a
this
we
one.
need a funny viral one. So if you guys see something,
We already got it earlier. How big is your hog?
oh, that's one. Oh, that's yeah.
That one was great.
That is.
Classic.
How many reps and sets per workout? There's only one right answer.
Yes. Your clients ever ask you that, Serge?
Yeah.
They do the lightweight, heavyweight, low rep, high rep. Can I have a cheat day? Haven't even started their diet yet.
No. Hadn't even started a program yet. And they're like, all right, what program's gonna get me this bigger? How long
Throw that back up for a sec.
Well, let's see results.
Boom.
I'll let you lead that in.
This is for Serge.
No, this is for us.
Ooh. How many sets and reps per workout?
The cool thing about workouts is if you use the sets and the reps to enhance your body strength wise and development wise, then it's just a chess match. And you're just setting it up at the beginning of the program. And you take that and you get to play with it for 12 weeks, right? And then you get to restart that. And you'll be able to see an incredible change to your body when those reps and sets are set up perfectly for you, or even relatively perfect for you. And then it's going to get better on the next 12. And then it's going to get better on the next 12. In 12 weeks is what I mean. And you're going to continue to learn how to play this game of reps and sets. And when you really master reps and sets and the understanding of how your body reacts to them, you're golden. You're golden. Then you can start writing up your own programs. You start doing your thing. You can help out people. So that's just a little insight to playing chess. Learn. Start out somewhere. I think that's the confusion. Everybody just wants to have the
Exact number?
or the perfect number. All you got to do is start.
Ooh.
That's all you really have to do, because then you just got motion, right? And so you're already burning calories. And then maybe the calorie intake that you're taking isn't right. So then you find that out within the first 2 to 3, 4 weeks. And then you find out the numbers are doing too much. You're too fatigued. You're getting weaker instead of stronger. Great. I can cut back a little bit. Then you answer these questions yourself as you're doing these. Or my recommendation is work with a coach. Have somebody kind of set up a beginning program with you and then check in every couple of weeks with that person and say, hey, this is what's happening. And that's why we do what we do in the Titan Crew. We have 20 questions you need to answer every couple of weeks, every 2 to 4 weeks. And then I can see what's going on with your body and how your body's reacting to those numbers and reps ranges and everything. So it's kind of cool. It's fun. It's fun when you really get to understand it.
What recovery techniques do you use to stay injury-free and keep performing well?
Injury-free is just, that's just luck of the draw kind of a thing. But to performing well, red light therapy, I'll bring in sauna at times. I swim. I stretch more than I have in a while, just because I'm rolling again in judo again. So do some rolling and stuff, stretching there. And then I just really, if you watch any of my videos and how I perform exercises, just slow, controlled, connected. That helps with the injury free. But again, nothing in life is guaranteed. But performing also, again, nutrition, sleep, knowing the number range, like jumping back full circle, your number range on how many sets and reps you're doing. Are you doing too much? Are you not doing enough? You got to stress the body, right? You got to hit it. You got to do something. You can't go in and just go through the motions and baby it.
Mm-hmm.
But also you can't go in there and pound your head against the wall thinking, I'm going to outwork everybody. There's no outworking anybody. There's only outworking yourself. And that's the thing I say to my young self. Please chill. I get it. Okay.
Can resistance bands provide a good enough workout compared to weights at the gym? Busy single father here.
Yeah, if you want to get motion going and you're trying to be keep the body burning, I think anything like that's great. Handstand push-ups, some abs, some squats, some bands, anything you can do. I fully understand that single father can't fathom that, and so props to you to try to do something and trying to get something going. So I big shout out to you.
But
yeah, the but is, will it be as great as the gym? Well, it doesn't matter. You don't have that luxury right now or the time right now to make that happen. So don't worry about everybody else. You're doing what you're supposed to do, and you're taking care of the kid. I think it's great that you're doing what you're doing and just trying to get some kind of motion in. So props to you.
When training, what is ideal for in between sets in general?
Recover. Yeah, fully recover. Let your body drop the heart rate. You feel relaxed again, and then get back in there and smash it. I don't know why people feel, yeah, I do.
What?
You're told over and over and over again that it's the guy that's sweating and out of breath. That's the good workout. So there's two ways you can train. You can go in there to train to because of time, just like this last one, the father. Hypothetically, you only got a half an hour. You only have 40 minutes. You're going to do what you can during that 40 minutes. And so you might have to move quicker for you. And again, maybe it's also a partial a mental thing for you where you need to train to just release that energy, which is fine too. But like the father asked, are bands sufficient relative to going to the gym with weights? No. But don't worry about worry about what you can do. I think that's at the end of the day. How much time should you take between sets? I don't know what your schedule is. For me, I rest until I'm totally recovered. I'll rest 5 to 8 minutes between squats easily. So I'm fully rested before I blast out another, because that set is the most important thing. The set that I'm doing is the most important set. Not the first set, it's not the last set. It's each set is the most important set I'm doing. So again, do what you can, guys. Do what you can.
You want this?
9 years old.
What age did you start? Yup. Oh, you way up there, dog.
Sorry. You back?
We hit that one.
I'm way up. I'm at the beginning. Sir, do you want this phone?
What you got in there?
I don't know. I got some Mo got this stuff. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, this is a new one, huh?
It's a new cover that's available over on the site. That's a Jeffrey special.
Just saw your video with Charlie. He's awesome.
He's
Yeah.
great. He's great. We're gonna do he wants to do
Yeah, let's run it back.
bowling.
Bullying?
Yeah,
Good.
make bowling great again.
That's the new shirt.
Is that going? Is that popping on?
It wouldn't. I mean,
Yeah.
after this, it's going right up. What about supplements? What about them?
Yeah, I think supplements are if you are really into the best body you can probably develop. I think obviously rest, recovery, and training is really important. I think the food that supports you the very best way it possibly can, and then put supplements over the top is a great way to even help your body more. And it's not just the bodybuilding or cutting fat. It's not just the L-carnitine or the branched chains, but there's so many other facets of supplementation to help your body with joints and with your heart. So your skin. So look into all that. Very important. I think all aspects. I don't know why I live that life where all aspects of it. The sleep's important. The supplements are important. The recovery is important. And I've set myself up in a way to where I get to continue to live this way because I sacrifice so much.
Follow up to the 50-year-olds. Go heavy or high reps or in the middle?
He has a 20 plus.
50. Oh, well,
You
go
see-
heavy or high reps, 20 plus.
Yeah.
Or 8 reps in the middle. Furious
wow.
George Hartwig.
Kid, 20 reps. You're a beast. High reps is 8 to 12 is high reps. You're not doing more than that. And then low reps is 2 to 5, right in that range. So, but again, it's heavy as weight as you can possibly do for the rep range you're doing. But 20 reps doesn't, for me, it sounds like just saying the word 20 reps. Unless you're doing it like once a month, right? And you want to go 20 reps. It's just, you're doing so much mileage on those joints and ligaments. And especially, and here's the thing that I think why you see such a decline when you see 40-year-olds or 50-year-olds go to train. You see them, it's like they walk off an edge because they change their training from when they were in their 20s and 30s. It's not an age thing. It's the way they change their mindset and the way they train. And they go to this new age where there's no stress to the body and it's just high reps. And so now they're not stimulating the body anymore with stress. On top of that, they're feeding their bodies completely different. Clean up aisle 4. Look how fast he's the one that goes to gets the towel. You know that. Serge, you're such a good boyfriend. Just leave her there with it.
See that shit? It's instant.
You see that?
It's instant.
Oh, I know it is. How was your trip, Serge? Anything you want to tell us?
You didn't go camping recently.
You didn't, huh? This guy.
Yeah. In the tent stays in the tent.
Just keep that in mind when you're doing the 20s and above. Obviously, you're saying 20 and above. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Mileage without the benefit of stress. That's the only problem. Because, and again, this will be the difference on what people are going to understand. Well, 20 is burning a lot of calories. Yeah, but you can burn calories with 1 rep. You can burn calories with 2 reps. So what you're doing is you're getting the benefit of the stress with that. With 25 reps, with these 30 reps, you have such light weight that it's not traumatizing except for the muscle.
Yeah.
The muscle is the only thing that you're stimulating where you're putting mileage on the ligaments. So keep that in mind. I'm not sure what this one's about.
Not before, but of course between 15 to 25. He is referring to something that he said right here.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
What you do before 15 to 25 years old can last you a lifetime. To be honest, I believe that is
100%.
true. Search, lift it up.
100% true.
Anything?
And I see that. I see that with athletes. I see that with a lot of athletes. Because here's the greatest thing about that. You're doing such an incredible amount of training with those ages, right? Because you're still in school, so you're most likely doing some kind of sports, hopefully. And you're building this muscle. And then you stop. Let's say hypothetically you stop at 25 and you start back at 35. The great thing is the body already remembers that muscle. And so you got memory muscle coming back. So the body reacts quicker. So there's a much better chance for you to come back and pick that up again. And then if you don't, you at least have this consistency of training and these disciplines that you don't need motivation for, which is a huge thing. Motivation is so irrelevant to the discipline of it. So I agree with you, my friend. Great comment there. And the name is Zoomer?
That is Zusama.
Zoom Sama.
You said 12:30, right?
12?
It's game time.
Oh, it's game time. I don't see him. Oh, send a, sorry. If you guys have questions now about HRT or TRT, I'm going to bring in a guy here, Big Johnny, who has a tenfold better understanding of this than I do. But you can continue to ask any kind of questions you guys want. Yeah. And you're doing great on the questions, guys.
Booyah.
I saw what you put up there, Jeffrey.
Finger slid.
Oh. So like right here, guys. Got my special juice, my secret, what is it? Secret juice?
That's the secret sauce. Yeah, the secret juice.
What do we got here? Go for it.
Have you / do you incorporate Olympic compound lifts such as the snatch, clean and jerk, etc.?
I did as a teenager. It was actually, that was my first competition before powerlifting. And I stopped shortly after 15, 16, never did it again, except for just power cleans, which I don't do it for the drop. I do it more for the explosion. So I would never clean it and drop it all the way down into a front squat. That wasn't my purpose, because that's more of a technique and speed that I didn't need to develop compared to trap development and just hip thrust.
What about overhead squats?
I do not do overhead squats, even though this guy says, science says they're the greatest squats in the world.
Overhead lunges.
No, you do not. I want to see you just do an overhead press.
Shit.
How'd you like the reverse today?
Still got it.
Do you like the reverse press?
I think those are fucking great. They feel great.
Yeah.
I
will you
I
tell
how
me
it rests?
Huh?
It rests.
It just
nice.
rests so open.
It's like, yeah. It's like,
Opens the joints.
it just fits there well.
Tell me your thoughts on Olympic lifting, because Olympic lifting is beautiful, artistic sport. The way that bar path moves and the explosion between there, it's absolutely beautiful.
Watching someone so small throw like 4 plates over your head, you're like, dude.
I saw a girl, I guess it was the first girl ever to hit, I don't know, these numbers these people are hitting nowadays. It's unreal. It's awesome. But that bar, when you measure where the bar is, when it hits
it's low.
the quad or the hip,
Yeah.
it's so low and they get so fast
just
underneath it. It's beautiful
right
to
under.
watch. Beautiful to watch. For me, I was into developing pure strength and then also creating the body. And these were some exercises that didn't help do that. Those just athletically are great, but it doesn't do the stimulant to the muscularity that I wanted. Oh, man. Look at him. Look at him right there. Johnny hitting the shot. Like, where are you? Can you pull him in?
You ready for
My
this?
thing's not working.
Boom.
Hear you? Can you hear me?
Can you switch that, Jeffrey?
Hold up.
I got it. I
Hold
got
up.
it. Oh, we can hear you fine, dog.
Okay. All right. I'm loud and clear.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry about that.
Don't apologize. I'm
We
good.
got you some setups. Are you ready for something real quick here?
Of course.
Give him a double hit. We got a couple bangers here for you, my friend.
Oh, okay. Let's go. I'm always ready.
This boy right here.
All right. It says, hi, Mike. I'm 50 and on TRT. Would either SARMs or peptides affect my test level? Been working out since 13. I have developed some injuries along the way, so I'm looking to heal quicker. Thanks. Awesome. All right. So you're 50 and you're on TRT. So you're on testosterone replacement therapy. Awesome. Now, when you asked about SARMs or peptides affecting test levels, so SARMs and peptides are definitely not going to affect testosterone levels. SARMs could suppress if you go off of them, but if you're on testosterone replacement already, it's not going to suppress your testosterone levels because you're getting this exogenously, right? So that's not going to be it. But when we talk about helping with injuries, that's when we really want to go to peptides. We talk about BPC 157, TB 500, which are healing peptides and some of the best healing peptides out there too, right? And they both work together synergistically. And at that point, they're going to be able to help muscles, tendons, ligaments, and be preventive too as well if you aren't injured. So if you're injured with acute or chronic injuries, you're going to want to take these two together if possible. If you only can take one, I'd probably pick BBC over the TB 500. That's just my personal choice. But then we want to talk about maybe something else. We want to talk about faster recovery too with using an IGF-1 or GHRH peptide. And it just so happens that we've released a new therapy of the week, hexarelin. So hexarelin, if you don't know what this is another antagonist to raise growth hormone levels. It's another GHRH peptide. And you're going to say, well, what's the difference between this and CJC with IPA, right? So CJC with ipamorelin are two different peptides that work together to stimulate your natural growth hormone levels. And with that, anti-aging, recovery, repair, all this stuff happens. But with hexarelin, this is actually, it increases more growth hormone on paper and with patients than CJC with ipamorelin does. The other benefit to this, and I'm not going to weigh heavy on this, but they say that there are cardio protective properties by using hexarelin too as well. So there's some good things with hexarelin that replace CJC and IPA, but my main point to this would be to use something to raise your own growth hormone levels or take IGF-1 to help heal faster and maybe heal better, a lot better for sure. Yeah,
Nice
that
one,
one.
Johnny.
That one's easy.
That was easy. I like that you answered that also. Just that I think you and I both agree that we don't like people to do SARMs.
No,
Or at least I don't think SARMs
I don't.
are an intelligent thing. And
So the other negative thing about SARMs is liver toxicity because most are oral, and that's the biggest thing. That drives up. So you got liver toxicity. It suppresses your natural testosterone level. So people usually would go with SARMs, especially these kids, because they didn't want to do testosterone. This was the latest greatest thing that they could take and be able to get results. But then when they come off, oh damn, and then there's suppression of testosterone. At that point, their system has to reboot and it might not come back to where it needs to come back to or where it naturally was.
then we were discussing right there. That's how you pronounce, or that's how you write it.
Yep.
And no, I didn't write
Hexarelin.
that. That was Jeff. I don't think I could spell that.
All right. It says, Mike, I do have 5 S1 7 millimeter disc hernia, also muscle atrophy. Is there any advice? I'm thinking about TRT starting. So yes, that will definitely help. I mean, to a little bit, I guess. BPC and TB 500 for the sure, but muscle atrophy, you're definitely going to look at maybe this could help. Obviously testosterone I think could help, especially if you're low or clinically deficient. And then at that point, looking at some different things, maybe taking inflammation away from the body. And muscle atrophy, where in the back area, in the leg areas, like where is this at? I mean, you can use Hercules and try to really focus on areas. You know, you got to have to train around the injury and around the pain too as well.
Could you let us know if you are doing something or have done something to open up the disc area and the
Right.
I'm assuming the atrophy is down the leg on the one side that it's
Yeah.
more leaning towards, or let us know. There's more to this because I would say definitely try to get that back fixed. If there's
Absolutely.
atrophy, it's at a different level right now where you'd want to try to take care of that.
You do not want it to go through. I mean, you know, if you're having that much atrophy, then there's a problem that you definitely need to get fixed for sure.
Also, what is the stim machine?
The new
New tech.
UX. Yeah, we use the NUX to kind of force blood into locations and stuff. But any kind of like stim machine to try to get those nerves firing up the best you can.
Yep.
Just to teach your body again, if you've done something to fix it, and try to fire those things back up again, because sometimes fixing just takes care of the pain aspect of it, but you still got to fire those nerves back up, give some life back to them. Sorry to hear that, my friend.
Yeah, that sucks. Back problems, no good for sure.
So I'm pulling up this one because I know John's got some stuff related to this question.
It's a great one.
So-
Sure. It says, "Hey Mike, sex is it good for gains?" Well, yeah, obviously, you know, I mean, they say that, you know, an orgasm a day will definitely keep the doctor away in some different levels. You know, at that point, you know, it's fun, makes you happy. Now, can you be better in the bedroom? That's the other thing. And Type Medical Center has your back on that, both males and females out there, to raise that libido and raise that drive and to increase pleasure and satisfaction in the bedroom, creating the superhero outlook for you and your partner and taking your love to new heightened levels. Or maybe it's just a one-night stand. You just want to have a good time. Who knows?
Ooh.
But at that point, you know, it's definitely going to be good for gains. You know, all the way around, I think, you know, mentally, physically, that's going to be a good thing. Cardiovascular, that's going to be a good thing if you can keep up and go longer than 20 seconds. I think you'll be good. But if you can't, Type Medical Center has something that will help that premature ejaculation too as well. So there's something that will make you sustain longer. And at that point, you can do the job a lot better, I think. Plus, we have Trimix. If you guys really want to inject,
Ooh,
there's people out there that want to
No,
inject.
you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
that's
It's
he
a
has
big
it.
seller,
Now,
guys.
see, I know
We're
this because of this guy
advertising.
over here. This guy's
Jeff, you
got
want to do some
stories.
no.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Oh,
You do the instruction video. I can send out the patients.
oh my gosh. I heard about this. I heard this is the most crazy second level thing. Now, see, Serge just says he's going to Vegas and it's area code is freebie. So because he's going to Vegas, he gets to unleash.
So you said
Does
that
he
one's
need blood
popular.
work, or can he just put an order in right
no blood
now?
work.
for
All you have to do
Whatever
is
he
see the
needs.
provider, fill out the new patient paperwork. You're good to go to get it.
Okay. All right. So, all right, Serge, you're set up, man. And go back to this. How do you pronounce it?
Trimix?
Trimix. Yeah, it's Trimix because there's 3 different components. There's 3 different active ingredients that are in it. There is a quad mix too that has 4 active ingredients. That's even more potent. So for
How long
any
you been out of
patient-
San Francisco, Jeff?
Too
You didn't know
long.
So-
about this?
I'm out of the loop.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, this we make people, if they want that injection, they can get the bottle for the injections, right? But we make them get the antidote too as well. They have to buy the antidote along with the injections.
You just say that you're going to give some kind of sex stuff, but there's an antidote to it.
Yeah.
There's an antidote.
Wouldn't it just be tell your girl to call 5 friends?
No.
That's not
Let
the
me
antidote?
tell you why. I'll tell you some real world stories and a good one and get good example for you too as well. All right. So we've always offered Trimix and Quad Mix. The only reason is we
Why
don't
is this the
advertise
first
it.
time we've ever heard of this. This is the first
I don't
time.
advertise it.
Yeah,
I don't
come
advertise
on
it
now.
because we don't got to push it. Like we don't like have to put it out there because listen, in my mind, I don't think there's a lot of guys out there that will inject their penis to get erections. But
Yeah, he said that.
that's like me going into a bar and saying, all I want to drink is Crown Royal because I like Crown Royal. But everybody else likes Heineken, right? So there are people out there that love these injections. There are people out there that need these injections, right? the porn industry. Most of those guys are taking these injections. Okay. And what happens is when you take this injection, you inject in your penis subcutaneously. And what happens is you get rapid blood flow and then you get an erection. And that erection will last up to 4 hours. Right now, a
Rookie
little
numbers.
bit goes a
Rookie
long
numbers.
way.
Come on.
All around.
A little
Wow.
bit goes a long way, right? Now, people always think, well, I'm the egotistical guy. I need a little bit more. I've got a high tolerance. I'm going to take a little bit more. Okay. If you do that, then at that point, you're going to keep an erection. And if you keep an erection past 6 hours, they say 4, but really starts at 6, the capillaries in your penis, you can start damaging them. And then your erections will be for the rest of your life. Right.
Wow.
So let me give you the
That's
real
why.
world example of why we make people get antidotes. So this is the reason why.
Keep going. Keep going.
So this is the reason why. The reason we make people get antidotes is because we have a doctor friend, and the doctor friend was like, "Oh, he's like, let me try it for my dad," and he's decided, you know what, I'm gonna try it on myself. And he was one of those guys that said, you know what, I'm gonna take just a little bit more because I know what I'm doing here with doses of medications. Took it, had the erection, had sex, great, multiple times with his wife, great. Now 6 hours comes. He's calling me, "Hey John, not going down yet." I'm like, "Well, did you do everything? Ice cold water?" Like, you know, he's like, "I've done everything." I'm like, "Well, dude," I'm like, "you need to get that taken care of." You know, at that point, he told me what he did. I'm like, "You either got to get the antidote or you're going to have to go in and they're going to have to draw the blood out. One way or the other, it's going to have to happen because if you keep going, it's going to be a problem." So he gets to about 8 or 9 hours. Now he's calling me. He's like, "Man, I'm in a lot of pain." He's like, "I'm going to go to the emergency room or I'm going to call one of my buddies." So what does he do? He calls one of his urologist buddies, comes over, one of those big ass needles, and has to drain his penis. Not fun, not what you want to do on a day or any day, right? So that's where we make people get the antidote, because if they do take a little bit too much or they want the erection to go down after 3 hours, they've had plenty of fun, they can inject, it goes automatically down, done deal.
Well, that takes care of that. Okay.
So those guys on set, like on those movies and stuff like that, usually they're injecting and they're staying up and they don't need no fluff or anything like that. They're just ready to rock and roll.
Come on, John.
Or
Those
you've
things are
got older
pretty.
guys that have heart problems that
Yeah,
can't take.
Who can and who can't?
Everybody can take that.
And
it's really good for the people that-
with high blood pressure or low blood pressure. Can you give us
deal
any
with that.
insight? No.
Doesn't affect that, not whatsoever. And it's for patients that can't take other things, because Viagra and all that will mess with those levels of blood pressure, and it can be bad, especially if they take nitro pills. So they have cardiovascular issues. This is the way to go. They can't get erections because they take these really high doses of these bad blood pressure medications and stuff like that, or medications that are giving side effects of erectile dysfunction. They can't get an erection using some of the other stuff, or can't use other stuff. They go to Trimix and they love it. They can control it. I know a guy here that he runs this one of the places that the girls dance at on the poles. Don't want to say the name, but at that point, he runs through them, and he's got this, and he goes to the back, injects, and then he's ready.
He's having his fun. I got a question for you. I see a lot. I'm in that stage of prostate and everything. There is a lot of studies showing about ejaculation, and a guy should a certain amount each month. I think at some point we should kind of go into this, just telling guys
Sure.
that I think they don't realize that you should try to release the
Absolutely.
nectar, or however you want to call it.
Where'd that lower
It definitely de-stresses. They know
See,
that.
most people think it lowers your testosterone, but it's
Does
just
not.
you rebuild and rebuild and rebuild.
Yeah, it does not. It doesn't lower your testosterone levels to do that. Now, listen, there's plenty of people out there right now bashing porn, all that. Like there can be addiction to porn, of course, like anything else to a certain degree. But I think you use it as a tool as a guy. If you need to, then you can. But it is what it is. I definitely think even when I was single, man. I mean, come on. I think that was one of the biggest things on my list. One of the top things on my list at that point in time was, achieving that at least when I was single, at least 3 to 4 times a week, I guess. Obviously I've been married for 16 years and I do it almost every night. So at that point, like, definitely good.
See, that's what we got Jeff and Serge here. They're going to tell us about that lifestyle. You and me are married.
I know.
We're locked down.
We're living vicariously through them, swiping left and swiping right.
I have a good one. This is something that I know that not only, I think this is really good because of the fact of, I try to tell people, I tell powerlifters, I tell the housewife this, learn to flex each muscle.
Yep.
Now, I fully understand that this may be hard for some people to connect, but you guys over at Titan Medical have some stuff, the Hercules Potion, the EAAs, that will actually help stimulate and get that a better connection.
Yep. That mind to muscle connection we always talk about, that is so key to really enhancing your body and knowing how your body works and controlling your body. And that's why flexing is necessary. It's posing in the mirror and looking and seeing and connecting with that muscle, connecting with your body and really, truly controlling it. That's what it's about. And if you train, your intensity can go up even more when you have that connection with your mind and muscle. So, you can feel it. You can feel the blood pushing in there. The contractions there. It's a good feeling. You're getting the work in. So, yeah, I think mind and muscle connection is key. And if you haven't experienced mind and muscle connection, don't worry. It's something that you can experience. And with Hercules Potion, it makes it a lot easier to start that connection between the mind and the muscle. And we were talking about atrophy before with muscles. So we've had a lot of people who've gotten accidents. And one particular just comes up in my head because he's one of the first guys that we ever did it with. He was in a motorcycle accident and he broke his femur on his right leg. And at that point, what happened was it went through atrophy. So when the cast and everything came off, obviously his leg looked a lot less than the left leg did. So what was he going to do? He was going to start going through physical rehabilitation and building back up. And this wasn't just some little guy. He was a bodybuilder. So at that point, like his left leg was a lot bigger. So mind and muscle connection, attacking with the Hercules Potion, and really, really developing that muscle again. And he's back to normal, thank God. Perfect symmetry and the whole nine. So yeah, I think that mind and muscle connection is key. Flexing is key. And at that point, if you need to make that mind and muscle connection, Hercules Potion. If you already got it, this just makes it even better. Recommendations for over 50 lifters. Well, obviously, get your blood checked. Make sure your hormones are in check. Make sure everything's dialed in there. And then what can help you, whether it's helping your joints because you've had some stiff joints or some problems over the years in shoulders, elbows, knees. If you want to raise that growth hormone level to hopefully recover faster than what you are now, that would be an option with a number of different treatments from IGF-1 to GHRH peptides. Really, I think that was it. The EAAs are a Titan Strong blend. You can add those to the mix. I think it'll be really, really good for recommendations for 50 or over lifters. Is it possible to fully recover after a disc hernia, which is 7 millimeters? I really don't know, guys. I know that it's possible for people to recover from a number of different things. Oh, no, I can't hear him.
You can hear me now. So this is the guy that asked earlier about his back, and I was asking
Atrophy.
his atrophy there. And so we now know that he did do some type of, I'm assuming, surgery. This is what I am picking up from this. And so if we bypass fully, I think because the point of Titan Medical is to help you as best as you can, it's
for sure.
Like any injury. We hope that you come back fully, but what can we do and what can help? So right now, the Hercules Potion would help that
For
atrophy
sure.
area.
Even full recovery after disc. Yeah, for sure. That BBC, I think TB500 would definitely help him too as well. Full recovery, absolutely.
All right, Jeffrey.
We had a good one up here. It was a really, really good one. It said, how do you get down hematocrit and hemoglobin levels.
Yeah, right here.
Boom.
How do I lower my hemoglobin and hematocrit levels? They are too high. So we actually did a video on this. It was like just a real splat off one. Like this is really important, really important. So if you're on testosterone, if you're on any androgens, anything like that, it could possibly raise hemoglobin, hematocrit, and red blood cell count.
Can you tell us before we go into that, what is he speaking of and what is this? So just
Sure,
everybody
sure.
understands.
So this is something that is inside the complete blood cell count lab, and your hemoglobin, hematocrit, and your red blood cell count. So these all work synergistically together. So your red blood cells, obviously, and then you got your hemoglobin, hematocrit, which are in there, platelets and stuff. So at that point, what happens is these things can start getting thicker with your hemoglobin, hematocrit going up. Red blood cell count goes up. So with it getting thicker, it's not pumping through the body like it should. It's like you can get like sludge-like. That's the best possible thing I can describe it, where you can get a vision in your head, and it won't get through. So when that happens, then you're at high risk for hemoglobin, hematocrit, red blood cell count, or excuse me, DVT or blood clot, stroke. So with that, you're at really high risk. So with him asking this question, usually hemoglobin, hematocrit do not raise on their own. It's something that's going to drive this to raise. Red blood cell count, on the other hand, could rise by itself. Maybe one of these might rise a little bit, but when you start seeing the correlation of all three or two of these things like this, then at that point, you're going to want to do some sort of donation. Now, usually you can go to like, I don't know, we've got One Blood here, Red Cross. You go in there and just tell them, I want to do a donation. I'm feeling generous today. They're going to take 500 milliliters of blood from you. And at that point, it will help lower it down. Now, if your levels are extremely high, you might need to do multiple donations. And with donation centers, you can only do it like once. I think it's like every 30 days or something like that. It might even be more. I haven't donated blood like that in a while. But if you're on treatment from a provider, what they can do for you is a therapeutic phlebotomy. And what that is that's a prescription for you to take in to one of these blood places, and they will drain that blood by prescription, by the physician's orders. So they can't tell you no, per se. And that's the only way you can do it. That's the only way. A lot of people say, well, can I take like aspirin to thin my blood? Well, it's not just thinning your blood. They have to actually get this blood out. That's what happens.
I hope let us know if that helps you out, my friend.
Yeah. Question from Mr. Titan. Does enclomiphene increase muscle mass over time or just helps men with low T feel better? So enclomiphene raises testosterone levels. Testosterone should in hand, if you're doing the right things, training, eating, sleeping, drinking water, the essentials, then obviously you can increase a lot more muscle mass with having low T. So if you have low T, it's going to be hard to increase muscle mass. But if your testosterone levels are optimal, then it's going to be a lot easier to do that. But either way, you're not just going to gain muscle from enclomiphene. You're not just going to gain muscle from taking testosterone. You have to do the work also to get the muscle and everything along with it. So there's no way around that. You can't fake it to make it to build muscle, you know?
So
he's asking like,
so glad that you said that, because I was writing this down right now, and I want these people to understand that in a sense it is a magical journey, and can be, if everything else is done that you are in control of.
That's right.
Or the worst of it will be you have healthy testosterone, but you're losing this golden chip to get you into a different level. And like Johnny says, just because you're doing enclomiphene or HRT or TRT or whatever it is that you're doing, unless you do the work, eating better, not perfect, you don't have to be Mr. Olympia.
Right.
If you're training, again, you don't need to be a CrossFit guy or an Olympic athlete, but at least like the one single father, you're at home doing the bands, you're doing push-ups. Yeah. Continue, John. I just so want these guys to understand that you don't do this and then you're Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah. I mean, think of like, having a better testosterone level or some of these different therapies. Like, I'll go to something different. Usually I go to cars, but let's go to tools, right? So you have a manual saw and you have an electric saw. Manual saw will get the job done, but electrical saw is going to be a lot quicker, right? A lot easier and expedite. So that's what's going to happen with this. If your testosterone level is good with the clomiphene or testosterone, yeah, you're going to feel good. Your body might change a little bit, right? You might get a little stronger, retain some muscle mass. But if you're doing the right things like electrical saw, now you're taking it to town, you're just going through and zipping through things like, and you're expediting the results. You can do a lot more when you're doing the right things than not, right? I mean, obviously, and it's so key. It's not just key to building muscle, but it's key for overall health, right? And that's the main thing they should be focused on, overall health.
Yo. Yeah.
Coming in with the echo.
All right. I'm gonna pull some of these up for you, John. High prolactin in men, and any supplements to recommend.
Oh yeah, so high prolactin in men.
Is prolactin? I hear that one being thrown around a lot.
Sure, prolactin's another hormone in the body as far as that goes. Prolactin is so females, right? Prolactin goes up when females have babies, and that's where milk. That's how it's stored and shot out. Basically, prolactin levels rise. The ducts in the breast start shooting milk. So, prolactin. Now, prolactin can mean a couple different things for somebody that has high prolactin. Now, if you have high prolactin naturally, this is something you might want to get checked out because prolactemia, which is a tumor, can expedite and raise prolactin levels. So prolactemia is what it's called. So that's one thing. So if you have high prolactin levels naturally, this is something you want to check out for sure. There are things that you can take like cabergoline and such that will lower prolactin. But at that point, this is something you definitely want to look at. The other thing, if you're taking Tren or any of these things, this will raise prolactin levels. I actually have seen guys shoot liquid out of their nipples. They were taking high doses of Tren, and their prolactin was through the roof. Okay, I've seen it multiple times, Jeff. At least 2 guys to 3 guys I know for sure that I can think of. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like you're a girl. Like what's going on here? It's the most weirdest thing you'd ever see, but that's what it is. So prolactin is something that I would take serious if it is high naturally. Just get checked out. You're going to want to get a scan just to make sure and verify there's not a tumor there. But at that point, otherwise, it's something that's causing it. And if you're going to ask me something, I don't know any supplement that's going to lower prolactin. I'm sure there's a couple out there they're advertising that they do, but I haven't seen any on paper that do officially, so I can't point in the right direction for over the counter. Medication-wise, absolutely.
That just shows up on your blood work? The prolactin?
Yeah, so you can get a prolactin test and you can see. So usually when somebody tells me, hey, and this is for a lot of guys that abuse a lot of stuff, and they're not getting monitored doing things to us. But what happens is they'll call and they're like, doing my own thing, nipples are hurting real bad, like real bad. And I'm like, and then the first thing you think of is like, all right, well, it could possibly some underlying gynecomastia. Like, no, it's like flared, like, I'm getting a little leakage possibly. I mean, it happens, guys. I'm telling you.
Leakage?
I'm not joking around with you. I'm guarantee, Mike, you ask some of the guys that are competing nowadays.
Leakage from my nipple. That kind of turned me on, man.
I'm not joking, dude. I dare you guys to go on like YouTube or something like this and look that up after this. I guarantee you guys find some wild videos.
I'm not looking at any of that. Yeah, I'm going to go straight to it. He's going to do the dark web after this.
I'm going straight to
Sorry, guys.
Who's got leakage?
John, do you have to take HCG for life like TRT? So you don't have to take TRT for life if you don't want to. You're just going to go back to your levels of what it is. Now, HCG is for gonadal support if you're on testosterone replacement therapy. And what does it do? People ask us all the time, like, why do I have to take HCG? I'm 50 years old. I got 4 kids. I really don't care about getting my wife pregnant or having any fertility issues. So, what good is this going to do me? And this is where you have to educate. Like, all right, cool. You don't care about getting your wife, girlfriend, whoever pregnant. That's fine. But at that point, we want to do a couple things. One, we want to minimize or have no negative side effects. So when you take testosterone, whether it's cream, injectable, inserts, whatever it is, you're going to shut off your natural production automatically. And what happens when that natural production gets shut off? Then your testicles, they go through atrophy and they start shrinking. Your semen production starts lowering. It starts getting bad, which they don't really care about. But your natural production gets shut off completely. So at that point, you got tightness in the area. You're not shooting anything, but a little bit, and that's it, which I think females don't like either. When they see it, they're like, oh, I worked hard for this. Why didn't I get any more?
John,
My wife does.
You're at a rare form today. The 6-hour hard on, guys' nipples are bleeding. The girl wants a big load.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. So
Ooh, Jeffrey,
but what it's going to do is it's going to keep your natural production on. It's going to make sure your gonads are good. Your testicles are not shrinking. Your semen production is good. The way it looks aesthetically is going to look good too as well. And you're going to get all the benefits, right? It's going to give you a little bit of more of a kick than a suppression. So if you don't want to take it, that's on you. If you come to Titan Medical Center, you would be getting some gonadal support. It could be HCG, it could be enclomiphene. And with us, we have different protocols. So you might be able to take it once every other day, right? If it's HCG. And enclomiphene might take 2 a week at minimal. You might take more. You might take HCG every day. So it's totally, what works for you and your personalized regimen and what the provider really recommends for you to get to your goal and get you feeling good, performing good, and looking your best like we want you to. All right. Can you recommend a good starting dose of BPC 157 and TB 500 blend? 33 to 20. All right. So we know one thing right off the bat from Frozen Grapes, and no hate on this, but he got this from some research and chemical site because there's no pharmacy out there that creates a BPC 157 and TB 500 blend. If they did, I would be getting it for me and all of our patients because that would be the best thing ever, right? Have 2 in 1, have to just pull one syringe and be good to go instead of having to switch bottles. But if you're going to look at this now, before asking this question with the starting dose, I guess I could just give you the starting dose. The starting dose should be either 250 micrograms all the way up to 500 micrograms. Now, the other thing you have to look at on this bottle is, all right, how many milligrams of each are in this bottle? And then how many do I have to dilute to get this microgram that I need? So you can do the math on it. There's calculators out there, but 250 to 500 micrograms, that's going to do you very well. If it's for a healing thing, preventative, you can go with 250 and be fine. But if you want to step it up and expedite things, 500 probably the way to go. Can you take more? You could. Do we know what you're getting? Not
just
really.
to the rookies, can you explain what it is? I think there's a lot of times we're so used to talking about this, but we don't explain to the viewers what what I love. This is connective tissue health.
Yes. So BPC 157 and TB 500 as far as what they do?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking, Mike?
Yeah.
Sure. So these things are very, very cool. As far as healing peptides, what these things do, right, is they take down inflammation in the body, right? And the way that they start the healing process, because people are like, how does it heal? How does it help us heal faster? Why is this called the Wolverine protocol? And it's not Wolverine protocol, but it will help heal you faster. Now, with this, it creates new blood vessels going to the area that needs to be healed. The problem is blood does not get to flow to those areas because of inflammation a lot of the time. So at that point, you want to get the inflammation down. That's what it does. It creates new blood vessels to create new blood flow to go to those areas for healing. That's the best way I can explain it, the easiest way.
No, that helps the viewers. I think a lot of people are just listening to you talking about these numbers, and I'd come in blank. I wouldn't even know.
I'm sorry, guys.
How,
I apologize.
yeah, this is no. It's not you, kid. It's me. I'm bringing you guys out here. John's the guy to talk to again for all of you that are here right now. Great crowd, by the way. HRT, TRT, blood work. Injuries, the joints are hurting, anything like that. Oh, here we go.
All right. I've had thyroid cancer and it made my hair a little thin at the crown. Would GHKCU peptide help fix my hair? It can definitely help with hair regrowth. Absolutely. With thyroid cancer, absolutely. Thyroid can affect the hair, can affect your weight, can affect so many different things. So hopefully you've got that all dialed in with your thyroid medication and you're all good set there. GHKCU peptide would be a good one. You could also mix it with our hair health capsules and our injectable biotin, and that would give you the best probable rate to get your hair thicker and better than what it is now. That was like the COVID hair cure is what we did for people. Even Sharice, she lost like 50% of her hair. What do? We put our injectable biotin. We put her on a little bit of the GHKCU, but we put her on the hair health capsules too as well. And at that point, she got some really good results. Her hair's back, thank God, because that was her big thing. And all her hair is natural. There's no weaves or extensions or anything like that.
Can I ask you a personal question? What is John's top 3 peptides for you?
Wow. I mean, the BBC
And you don't have to
157
answer if that's something.
No. I'm just like, man, there's so many that I take that I'm just like, man, it's hard to pick the top 3. If there's 3 that I have to say, man, like I need these things still. One's for my shoulders, right? So I need BBC 157, TB500. So I'm gonna put those as one. All right, because that's what it is. The other one I would have to take would be peptide wise. Tesamorelin. I would definitely take that because that's going to raise growth hormone levels, keep me lean. And then my last peptide I would take. God, it's so hard because it was a cut. I take AOD on top of that. If
Good thing
not,
is
I'm
you don't
taking
have to choose top 3, but if you have
Thymosin
to, you
alpha-1,
kind of
I mean,
know,
for immune
right?
System, like, God, this is a tough one.
Because I'm tied with you. I number 1 out of the gate for me is
Yeah.
TB and
BP.
BPC is number
Yeah.
1, and so that
Yeah, me
for
too.
you guys that don't understand, that's joint
Me too.
health. That's
Yep.
number 1 for me and for John. That's
Yep.
funny to hear.
Yep.
And then the next one I would go with the
Tesamorelin.
GHK or the tesamorelin because
Yeah.
of recovery, skin
Yep.
health.
Yep.
Is another thing for me that's important.
Absolutely.
It's funny because it's like it's an HRT company, but the most important things for is the healthy joints
Sure.
and skin text. And
Sure.
so
That's that definitely that would definitely be my top. And then like I said, it would just really depend. Like there's sometimes where I'm taking thymosin alpha-1 and I'm taking that in the morning for my immune system health. And then like I'll be switching up. Like, there would be times where like I'll be taking IGF-1. So I'll start mixing that in the group, right? And start taking that. So it's just different things that, there's different areas where I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm in this phase. I'm going to go through this phase. And then like, if I'm like, all right, well, everybody's getting sick at the office, I better start boosting my immune system as much.
I
as
love that
possible.
you said that though. I love that you said phase. I love that John has a protocol. John's not a bodybuilder, but he still has his phases. He understands how the body works. I hope you guys listen to that. I know that's a side note, but he still goes through a protocol of training where it's okay, this 12 weeks I'm doing this. Okay, next 12 weeks I'm going to maintain. These next 12 weeks I'm going to worry about. So it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. Super, super cool. So this guy, Mike, said, I often wonder if you could intravenously inject peptides. Curious to see if you guys have any info on this. So yes, you can. I don't know any pharmacies that make intravenous peptides as far as that goes. Have I seen it done? Yes, I have. Will we do it here at Titan? Absolutely not. So, I wouldn't really messing around with anything that's not supposed to go IV just to make sure preservative wise or all that. But I've seen it done. I've seen people inject intravenously growth hormone, like IVs, a whole 9. So, I mean, you could do anything to that extent, but I would just make sure you're being safe about things. Could you please name any trusted source for BPC 157 TB500? Titan Medical Center. We have BPC 157 and TB500 that comes from a real U.S. licensed pharmacy and does not say not for human consumption on the bottle. It's for human consumption. It comes from a pharmacy in your name, and you have full support from Titan Medical Center on how to utilize it and use it. At that point, if you get it from anywhere else, I can't guarantee what you're getting.
So if you get it from somewhere else, it says not for human consumption.
Everywhere else, Jeff. It's actually illegal for them to infer for people to take these things. It's illegal. Like, ask Rick Collins. He'll tell you. It's illegal to do this. Have they cracked down on these people? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And on every single vial that you get from Amino Asylum, all of those places that are out there, it all says not for human consumption. They legally have to put on the bottle. It's for research and chemical purposes only. And the people out there buying it, they're the rats because they're the ones getting on the experimental side. So at that point, that's what's going on. It's crazy. They're cracked down on compounding pharmacies for making some of these peptides. Like they're giving CJC an IPA problem again. After it came back off the ban list, now they're like, oh, we still don't like this. So, all right, well, you don't like this. Well, you should go after all these companies because there's 1,000,001 research and chemical sites out there. And they've gotten more and more prevalent as I went on in business. I remember when I first started, there was maybe like 1 or 2 out there. And now, I couldn't even tell you how many are out there. And it's such an easy business for people that I understand. They get the product from China or India. Oh, shit, I can't hear him. Sorry.
It's okay, kid. So, from what I understand, what we're reading on the internet right now is this is. I'll let Jeff do this better than I. Hold on.
Yeah, looking up this. So it's just a disease that has
Blisters, sores.
inflammation.
Gotcha.
Is nutrition help it at all?
I'm looking for.
I think nutrition would help to a certain extent, obviously.
Avoiding things like heat, sweating, sun, stress.
Oh, man.
S-
Stay out of Florida.
Stress could do a lot for anybody, even people that don't have a disorder like this. I know stress.
Absolutely. Stress, they
flush-
can break out in hives, too.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of things happen.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you've ever seen this.
Well, I've never seen anybody with this particular disease, but if it's a skin disease, and at that point, if inflammation is a big thing, then they're going to want it to lower inflammation as much as possible in the body.
Glutathione?
Glutathione for sure. That's the one I was going to go with right away. Glutathione will probably be the number one thing for their body to help them because it helps with skin, right? And it's going to help with inflammation in the body too as well. So, I mean, I think that's a big proponent of what somebody like this should use. And then obviously nutrition too, right? Like eat foods that are, not going to cause inflammation in the body too as well. I think being more like, more conscious of that, I think it'll be a lot better for them. Is there anything you recommend for graying hair? So I don't know of anything. I know they were working on a peptide that was supposed to reverse the color of your hair, but I haven't seen anything about it lately. I know there was some clinical data on it and stuff like that, but they were doing it in mice, but I haven't seen anything for humans yet. I mean, obviously with this one, to be honest with you, raising growth hormone levels, your IGF-1 levels would probably slow down the amount of gray hairs that you do get.
That's again a genetic thing. My dad had black hair until he passed. My mom was gray by mid-30s.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
That
wild.
is a genetic thing too.
But she was a blonde that went great, so it looked great on her. She had porcelain skin, so she looked like a Zsa Zsa Gabor. So it was great.
Nice.
There was a question way earlier. It's so high up, I can't find it. But he
Sure.
basically asked, what kind of things should he look out for if he thinks he should be starting TRT? Like, what are the factors that indicate you could be a candidate?
Sure. So low energy, mental fog, or not clear thinking, ED, unmotivated or depressed. It has nothing to be depressed about. Like, understand, like your wife died, your dog died, now you're depressed. That's understandable. But if nothing's going on where you shouldn't be feeling down, then there's a problem there, right?
Harris didn't win. What?
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely one for sure. I'm trying to think what else. Basically, that's it. Your body is starting to change, and you're doing everything the exact same. You're still eating the exact same calorie count. You're exercising, doing your exercise, and your body's starting to change. Fat deposits and stuff like that. Then there could be a problem there too as well. Aging, I mean, if you think you're prematurely aging, that's another one. So all these things can be factors, and there could be a little bit more factors, but those are the main red flags to look out for. Like, well, my energy sucks. I'm feeling down. I got erectile dysfunction. I don't feel confident about myself. These are some of the big red flags that people need to say, all right, well, there must be a problem because I didn't feel like this before, and I have no reason to feel like this. And that's what it is.
What do we got?
What is the best thing to do after an extreme workout and all our muscles are very sore? That's what it says basically. Recover, eat, relax. I mean, do some different things. Cryo, jacuzzi, sauna. I mean, there's so many different things you can do for recovery after extreme workouts to help. I mean, it's ridiculous. Plus, if you have Titan therapies, that's another good one for sure. BBC, TB500, or having different blends that have glutamine in them too as well for recovery. That's another big one.
I was going to say, you do the same thing after a good workout as you do after a bad workout or after any kind of workout.
True.
Yeah. Just so if anybody's here and they read this and they're like excited about this, oh yeah, after a good workout, what should I do? It's the same thing, guys. You go to work out. Let's say it's a moderate workout. You still eat your nutrition that you're supposed to eat. You still do if you got your protocol for recovery, and then you still at night. A benefit is having some kind of GH enhancer from Titan Medical, a nice peptide or something. And again, one of the things that's going to help you know that you're doing the best you can is blood work. Making sure those markers are all up to par on where Titan Medical would want those numbers to be too.
That's right.
I saw something about a 20-year-old. I will answer this one at
Sure.
another time, but what about this one here? Am I okay with that?
Any advice for a 20-year-old lifter overthinking their training? A lot of time I felt overwhelmed with the amount of info out there. I would say keep it simple, right? Keep it simple in what you're doing. I mean, do the right things, eat, train, sleep, drink water. But at that point, like, don't overthink things. Get yourself a program. Somebody design a program. If you don't know how to design a program, at that point, Mike could help you out with that. At that point, start getting into it. Don't overthink it. Start working hard, increase intensity in there, and just do your thing. I think that's the biggest thing that holds people back to a certain extent is they start listening to everybody around them and they don't stick to the plan. They have some sort of plan. And then at that point, a guy say, well, you should do it like this. You should do it like that. Or you should do these, or this is going to help. And at that point, like, you get pulled in all these different directions and it just, I don't know, like, you don't get anywhere. You're just stagnant at that point, or you regress in some terms.
Get your book out. Write down your program that you're going to do for the next 12 weeks.
Yep.
And within 2 to 3 to 4 weeks in that range, you're going to be getting stronger. You're going to start looking different to you. Maybe not too much, but just a little. Visually, maybe the clothes fit differently. Maybe you get a little more hungry. But everything is, written down out of your mind so you're not so bombarded. It's here. You know what you're doing. And then patience. Just, you're 20 kid. Just start writing this stuff down and do not let, and I don't know how to relate because I fully understand this is a different world. I didn't grow up with social media except for the magazines that I was in and stuff, but there's tenfold. So I feel bad for you guys.
Yeah.
Because
tough.
when I grew up, I had to self-entertain. And now you guys got to, what's the term they were talking about?
Self-entertainment.
No, we had to self-entertain because there wasn't much to do. We had to go out and play football or go do something or make up a game. Hey, I'm going to hit you and jump off the roof and then make a basket. And then
We're like overstimmed.
overstimmed. So for you guys, you kids, you're overstimulated. And so there's too much information. And so you have to, I don't know how you do this, but I know one aspect is getting the thoughts out of your mind, putting down in the program, and then trying the best you can to stay with that. And again, for you youngsters, explain it to me how you guys do that, because I'd love to learn how you compartmentalize and all this noise coming at you, how you deal with that. So
Right.
that's my best advice.
Man, I just talked to my cousin, and on that side, they're on my Greek side. It's crazy. My other cousins, it's nuts. She has her son. He's 14 years old. So she hit me up right before I got on here, and she's like, "Hey, she's like, Jensen, that's his name. He's 14 years old, freshman this year. He's 6'1.5", and he's 180 pounds." And she's like, "What should I do to help him grow? Because he needs to grow." The coach told me to be on varsity next year, starting linebacker. I'm like, man, I was like 180 pounds, 6'1.5", and 14 years old is pretty good. I was like,
Great.
Great, right? And she's like,
Great.
he's so lean. Fuck, like, I'm loving it. So I told her, I said,
Can't
just
coach size.
Yeah, no, she wants to keep it natural. So he wanted to take some protein powders and stuff like that. So she asked me, is it okay? She don't want it, anything to disrupt that. So yeah, and I'm like, listen, he wants to get this fast. I understand that. There's only so much he's gonna grow. Give him as much protein as he possibly can take in at that point, and just let him do his thing because he's doing very well. So yeah, but that's just another thing with these kids. They want instant gratification. I think this world, that's what it teaches them right now. But something like this, it's going to take a little bit of time to do.
Text her
You gotta
back.
stay
Say
consistent.
food replacement, not protein.
Right.
A food replacement. You guys, you parents out there, you youngsters, I get that you want to do the protein drink. Do the food replacement drink. You're at an age, you're at a healthy age where your body is working. It is so working for you. Mostly 14, 15, 16. Talk to your parents about that. But eat. You guys are growing like weeds, and just feed the body. My son is 5. He's eating 2,100 calories.
Wow.
He's 5 years old. He's eating 2,100 calories. It's like, you guys are 14. Most of his kids 6'1". Wow, good for him.
Yeah. So
That family's got to be so happy.
that's how the family. But his dad, his uncle, like D1 scholarships, Purdue, like one of the uncle, like these are my cousins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a scholarship in football to Purdue and a track and field, and he picked track and field over because he was a shot disc thrower, so it was crazy. But those guys are just massive athletes, big family all the way around. It's kind of crazy.
That's great, though. That's family genetics,
super
man. I freaking love it. I love it. Thanks for telling that story. And for that youngster, man, write it down. I fully understand it's a different world. What do we got here? What's good with peptides?
Yeah, 61. What good peptide? All right, so there's a couple good peptides depending on what is your goal, right? Because there's a lot of different peptides do a lot of different things. We can increase mental clarity. We can help, as far as healing process. So if you have some owies or some banged up areas on your body, if you want to raise growth hormone levels, especially at 61 years old, we know these are usually declined or maybe deficient at your age. And this is something that will keep you younger, better all the way around. Or if you want weight loss, and we've got weight loss peptides too as well. So there's so many different things in the peptide world that it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish, because there's not one peptide that does every single thing. I wish that would be awesome, but there's not. So we have to at least start filtering it down to exactly what you're trying to achieve.
John,
Yeah, I'm gonna let you jump in there and ask Johnny.
Yeah.
We got our Big Red is back.
All right.
Before their trip to Vegas, they would like to do some injections in the last 6 to 12 hours.
Trimix. No. AOD. I got some. Haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Curious, not just for myself, but maybe for somebody watching.
Sure.
One, what is it, and what can I expect if my nutrition's on point and I am doing a good amount of cardiovascular training as well?
Sure.
What should I be looking for, and how long will it take to maybe see some results?
Sure. All right. So AOD is really cool. So, it's an anti-obesity drug. That's what AOD stands for. So if anybody out there ever asks for that, that's what it is. But what is it? So it's a 176 amino acid sequence of 191 in growth hormone, right? So the sequence that's in growth hormone just for weight loss effect, that is what AOD is. Some people call it fragment or whatever it is, but it's 176 amino acid sequence. What does it do? How's it going to work in helping you lose weight and tighten up? Because that's the biggest thing, right? So the way that it works is it will actually take stored fat and start burning it and using it as fuel and energy for you, right? The other aspect is what you're intaking and eating is starting to use as fuel and energy instead of storing as fat too as well. So two really big effects to really boost the metabolism to get it start working for you and start utilizing the calories that are stored and that are not stored per se too as well. When can you start seeing results? You can start seeing results within 30 days, I would say. 30 to 60, 90 days, I would say at the most. But at that point, like if you're eating correctly and you're training, you're going to probably see results within 30 days, right? How much results can you see? 5, 10, 15 pounds over that time period, I would say, if you're really, really getting into it. If you're not really getting into it, let's say you're training 2-3 days a week, you're going to get a couple pounds here or there. It's not going to be optimal, but if you're training 4 to 5 days a week, I think, where you're training maybe 3 days, weightlifting training, 2 days of cardio, if you want to split up like that or do cardio on the same days, I don't know. Some of these people got all different types of splits, so it's totally on you what you want to do there. I'm sure Mike will put you through a great routine.
And do you recommend a duration to stop at?
Of like 4, 8, 12 weeks.
Yeah, after.
Yeah, I would definitely say at least 12 weeks. I mean, if you're going to do it right, 4 weeks in a month, 3 months, that's almost like 90 days, right? And that's kind of what I would say. Can you stand it longer? Absolutely. And if people want to achieve higher weight loss, then there's other things that will achieve higher weight loss, so this is something that I would say where people are like 10 or 15 pounds above their weight goal, what they want to be. Once they start hitting 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds, then we need to move to like a heavy hitter, like a GLP-1 that we know is going to really start knocking off weight real quick, and then start curbing appetite. Because, usually somebody's like 10 pounds over, that doesn't mean that they don't have self-control of their eating. They just need to dial it in a little bit. But then you have some people that have no control of their eating, and they'll just eat everything that's in front of them, right? What's up, Mike? Oh, you want to eat everything?
Me, I want to eat
That's me.
everything.
That's me. I'm like, last couple of weeks, since I think this told me last week, was it Tuesday? Like, hey, you need to start eating more, man. So I just started eating. I just started eating a whole bunch of stuff. This week, I'm like, I better start down.
I'll see Johnny at
I
260.
got a 207. I'm like,
At the Olympia next year coming in.
Yeah.
Hey, John, I got a question for you. This is about, I won't say who it is. I got a friend, 6'1", 350.
Big boy.
Big boy. He's always lifted heavy, but he's overweight. But there's some good size to him. He's 55, so he's got some heart issues, I think, as well, being 350 pounds.
of course.
Question on, is there something, so the AOD wouldn't do enough for him because he's
He needs
350,
to be on a GLP-1.
and he's also kind of the guy that, man, I get him moving in a direction, and unless it's moving a little faster, he just loses.
He loses
takes out.
momentum.
So
Right.
can he
These
do that with a heart
GLP-1s,
issue or something?
That's the best thing about GLP-1s. They are great for people that have heart issues. That is the number one kicker. There are clinical studies now done that says it improves the heart condition and protects the heart 20% more by taking the drug.
There we go. All right.
So you got clinical studies on that, clinical studies on kidney protection, and anti-addiction properties. Like, it's just more and more research that's being done. Now, let's all attribute this to one thing, and let's talk about that because that's the main thing. Weight loss. Because that is what happens. When you start losing this bad weight, things start turning around for you health-wise because you ain't got all the stress on your body.
There we go.
So at that point, it's key to do. So the GLP-1s for him would be great. He's going to see results real quick, which is going to keep him motivated and get him down the weight. And I guarantee everything starts turning around.
This kid would be a stud at 240, 250.
Right.
He's all, he comes in, he trains with, and he, dude, tussles with me on shoulder presses and incline. He can, so, it's, I'd like to see him do it, but I've been trying to get him to diet for 20 years and it's just not there. So
Well,
this
will
would be a
definitely
great thing. I love it.
Definitely do it.
Yeah, especially he's getting his age and stuff now. It's like I worry about that stuff with these guys.
So would GLP-1 help with a large heart? It's not going to shrink your heart, right? So it's not going to help with a large heart. It's not going to do anything as far as that goes. As far as cardiac disease, right? That is where this drug helps with. But in large hearts, it's not going to help in large heart. It
Mary,
can
I
do
think
cardio
that's
protection.
you
but
love
it's not-
dogs so much. That's why your heart is bigger. Because you love dogs, Mary. That's why.
There you go.
So same thing here. We love dogs. Johnny, thanks for hanging out today, brother.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys. It's been awesome.
I'll check with you later, my man.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
We're
Thank
up
you guys so
round
much.
2. Bye, buddy.
Later.
Hey, somebody asked real quick. I just want to say thank you for joining us. Thanks for hanging out today, guys. Again, me and Johnny jump in here every Tuesday. And then the person asked about nutrition for their
Paul,
kid. Yeah, Paul Godfrey. Godfrey.
Yeah.
Hey, so watch the YouTubes on us having Titan on my YouTube channel. There's a album, a playlist talking about Titan and how we fed him. But more than anything else, make sure mama is eating for the baby right now. Because I know that maybe you haven't had the baby yet. So I think you're
Pull up the question.
yeah. So watch that video, Paul. I appreciate it, brother, man. Have a great day today, everybody. We'll talk soon.